I just wanted to give a quick plug for my new paperback book, The Keto Diet. It hit shelves on April 11th, and you can pre-order by going to keto-dietbook.com, where you'll receive a discount of up to 42% off the cover price. Also, I'm super excited about the Keto Diet book tour in the US and Canada. Just go to keto-dietbook.com/tour to RSVP, and I'll see you there. Hey guys, Leanne here from healthfulpursuit.com. I'm a holistic nutritionist specializing in ketogenic diets, and I interact with over 400,000 individual people a month, supporting them in adjusting this powerful eating style to work for their lives and their bodies. And today we're going to be finishing off the two-part keto cooking oils and fat series, where I'll be breaking down the fats I use sparingly and which ones I avoid at all costs. So stick around. If you didn't get a chance to check out part 1 of this video series, make sure you click the link in the corner or below. Last week, I gave you guys an insanely detailed rundown of all of the oils and fats I use in my keto cooking, as well as an overview of the importance of the smoke point, or the temperature where a cooking oil or fat begins to degrade and release free radicals. On top of all of that, I made what I'd like to think was a fairly decent free radical joke that you won't want to miss. In this installment, I'll be covering the oils and fats that I don't consume all that often, as well as the ones that are best thought of as the crazy serial killer in horror films. The following oils have two things in common. The first is that they're high in polyunsaturated fats, or PUFAs, which are inherently unstable, and the higher the PUFA percentage, the more unstable the oil. As such, a healthy amount of caution should be exercised when consuming them. Remember, if you're reaching or exceeding the smoke point, you can be doing some serious harm to your health. It's also worth noting here that because polyunsaturated fats are unstable, it's crucial to pay attention to the way they're processed. How any given oil is extracted is of the utmost importance, as there are various methods and each can have a profound effect on the final product and its ability to support or deteriorate our health. If they're heated substantially when processed or treated with harsh chemicals, you can run into issues. So keep an eye out for words like cold pressed and centrifuge extracted. The second thing that these oils have in common is a lopsided omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid ratio. Omega-3 and omega-6 are essential fatty acids, meaning that your body can't produce them and they're required for normal body functions. So we need them, but we want to make sure that we're consuming them in a balance. We're looking for a ratio of about 1:1. Too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3 is associated with all sorts of not so wonderful inflammatory diseases, such as metabolic syndrome, autoimmune disorders, IBS and IBD, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, psychiatric disorders, and more. Okay, drum roll. Here are the oils and fats that I use sparingly. The first one is refined canola oil, which has a decent smoke point of about 205 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit, so you could technically use it for roasting and frying. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 3:1, and it's 32% polyunsaturated fats. It's also highly processed, and the canola plant itself is often genetically modified. Make sure that you locate non-GMO sources. Of all the used sparingly oils that I'm sharing with you guys today, this oil is the one that I'm most on the fence about. Think of it as the lesser of two evils. If you're deciding between it and, say, soybean oil, I would go with the canola oil. Second one is hemp seed oil, and it has a much lower smoke point of 165 degrees Celsius or 330 degrees Fahrenheit. So only use it or any other fat with a lower smoke point for salads and light finishing. Hemp is actually the only known edible seed to contain gamma-linolenic acid, which can help regulate hormones as well as support menopausal health. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is also 3-to-1, and it's made up of 80% polyunsaturated fats. Next up is walnut oil. It's high in monounsaturated fats and is a great source of omega-9 fatty acids, which may reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and stroke by promoting arterial health. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 5-to-1, and it's 63% polyunsaturated fats. Its smoke point is 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Next up is unrefined canola oil, which has a smoke point of 108 degrees Celsius or 225 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely do not cook with it. As a salad or a finishing dressing, it's okay, but make sure to buy the organic non-GMO version. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 2-to-1, and it's 32% polyunsaturated fats. Next up is flaxseed oil, which has the same smoke point and contains a ton of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, which can help regulate blood sugar and has also been shown to help people suffering with Crohn's disease and colitis. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 1-to-4, and it's 66% polyunsaturated fats. Okay, so those were the oils and fats that I use sparingly. Now I'm going to run through the oils and fats that you should absolutely, positively never ever use. Cue the scary music, guys. I don't like these following fats because the quality of ingredients and the processing methods scare me. First up is margarine. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 3-to-1, and it's 33% polyunsaturated fats. When I say processing methods, I think how plastic is made. I could diagram it, but it would take up way too much time. Second up is vegetable shortening. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 8-to-1, and it's 34% polyunsaturated fat. This is more commonly known as Crisco. Need I say more? Next are vegan spreads. Its omega-6 to 3 ratio is 3-to-1, and it's 33% polyunsaturated fats. It may be humane, but that doesn't make it good for you. Now, the following fats I don't like because they're not fat fueled approved. The first one is wheat germ oil. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 8-to-1, and it's 62% polyunsaturated fat. While safer than most, if not heat or chemically processed, it's not fat fueled approved because it's sourced from a grain. Next up is soybean oil. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 8-to-1, and it's 58% polyunsaturated fat. It's gonna be safer than other oils if it's non-GMO and not heat or chemically processed, but it's not fat fueled approved because it's sourced from a legume. Finally, I don't like the following oils because they have a very high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. The first one is rice bran oil. Its omega-6 to 3 ratio is 21-to-1, and it's 37% polyunsaturated fats. Additionally, it's not fat fueled approved because it's also sourced from a grain. Next up is peanut oil. Its omega-6 to 3 ratio is 32-to-1, and it's 32% polyunsaturated fats. It's also safer than most, not fat fueled approved again because it's sourced from a legume. Next is unrefined sunflower oil. Its omega-6 to 3 ratio is 40-to-1, and it's 40% polyunsaturated fats. Also, the PUFA content is a bit of a concern. Next up is refined corn oil. Its omega-6 to 3 ratio is 46-to-1, and it's 56% polyunsaturated fats. Then there is unrefined corn oil. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 83-to-1, and it's 59% polyunsaturated fats. Also, its PUFA content is a concern, and it's highly genetically modified and is not fat fueled approved because it's sourced from a grain. Another is unrefined safflower oil. Its omega-6 to 3 ratio is 133-to-1, and it's 75% polyunsaturated fat. So with that 75% polyunsaturated fat, the PUFA is a major concern. Next one that may totally blow your mind is sesame oil. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 138-to-1, and it's 42% polyunsaturated fats. Dang that omega ratio, it's crazy. Next up is cottonseed oil. Its omega-6 to 3 ratio is a whopping 256 to 1, and it's 52% polyunsaturated fats. Additionally, its PUFA content is a concern, and it's highly genetically modified. Also, grapeseed oil. Its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is an absolutely astounding 676 to 1, and it's 70% polyunsaturated fats. So its PUFA content is of major concern. So there you have it. You are now an expert on what I didn't know when I first dipped my toes into the keto pool. If you were excited to learn what we covered today, I just know you're going to fall in love with Healthful Pursuit. There are 3 awesome things that you can do right now. The first is that you can choose to simplify your high-fat life, whether you are a newcomer or a seasoned veteran, with my weekly meal planning program, Balanced Keto, where you'll receive 7 days of meal planning all laid out for you, complete shopping lists already organized, tips guaranteed to keep you on track, allergen guides and alternatives, easy to prepare breakfasts, lunches, dinners, and snacks, carb up practices for balancing hormones and breaking through plateaus, as well as time-saving 5-minute recipes, and so much more. Click the link up here or down below to check that out. The second is a wonderful free resource. You can grab the free mini guide for this video, complete with everything I just shared today in an easy-to-read PDF. It includes the transcript and other cool resources, and it's absolutely 100% free. There's a link up here and also down below where you can take advantage of that. All you gotta do is click the link, scroll down, find the pink button, and enter in your details. The third thing you can do is subscribe to my channel. I come out with videos every-ish Wednesday, and I'd love to see you here. Bye!